coffee cup for 3 whole weeks. Told myself that you might come back for it. I learned your order like a private language. Oat milk, 2 sugars, and a little bit of something sweet to balance out the bitter. I thought that's what loving someone meant, memorizing all their little habits and calling it a life well spent. But you never asked me to remember. You never said this thing was real. I built a home inside of maybe and wondered why I couldn't heal. 'Cause you were never really mine. I just lived inside the almost close enough to feel the warmth, but never close enough to hold it. You were never really mine. I just loved you from the outside, pressed against the glass and watching a life that was never really mine. I used to write your name in little margins of notebooks. I'd pretend we're full of songs. I'd map the way your laugh would change by evening and memorize exactly where I belonged, which was nowhere that you'd ever really offer, just the spaces that you left between the words. I became an expert at the almost, a collector of the things that go unheard. And everyone around me saw it clearly. They'd ask me what exactly were we, and I would smile and say it's complicated, because the truth was too embarrassing. 'Cause you were never really mine. I just lived inside the almost close enough to feel the warmth, but never close enough to hold it. You were never really mine. I just loved you in the in-between, the Sunday mornings and the late nights, the spaces no one else could see. I don't blame you for not knowing what you never said out loud. I just wished I was the kind of girl you wanted to be proud of. I kept waiting for the moment you would finally choose me first, but you were always almost ready, and I was always almost worth it. I think the saddest kind of loving is the kind you do alone, where you water something daily that was never really yours to grow. I gave you every quiet morning, every 3 a.m. and every song, and you received them all so gently, like you didn't know that it was wrong. 'Cause you were never really mine. I just lived inside the almost close enough to feel the warmth, but never close enough to hold it. You were never really mine. I just loved you like you asked me, with my whole heart and both hands open for something that was never really mine. I packed your coffee cup away last Tuesday. It felt like finally learning how to breathe. I don't write your name in margins anymore. I'm learning what it means to just be me. And maybe that's the lesson in the loving, that some people teach you how to feel without ever being yours to keep forever. Sometimes the almost ones are how you heal. So I'm keeping all the mornings that I gave you. I'm keeping every song I wrote at night. I'm keeping all the love I thought I wasted. Turns out I just gave it to myself this time. 'Cause you were never really mine, and I was never really yours either. But it took so long to feel it. You were never